Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from the beautiful metaverse, and more specifically from beautiful Danville, Illinois, homeland of the Corellian tradition. And welcome to Midday with Reverend Don. And as you know, if you regularly follow Midday with Reverend Don, we can talk directly. If you put your questions or comments directly into whatever platform you're watching this on, they will appear here in my chat room, and we can have a lovely conversation. And I hope you're having a lovely day. Today is Thursday. And today I was going to talk a little bit about awards. And in particular, I was going to talk about a particular award, the Witchcraft and Occult Media Awards, and maybe even make a shameless little plug. But we'll come back to that because I wanted to start really with the idea of awards, why they're important. We've been doing awards in our community for a long time. Hello to Mary Cavalcante in the chat room. It's good to see you, Mary. Back in 1986, I won the Silver Salamander Award for excellence in pagan journalism, which will tell you just how long I've been doing this. Oh, and Mary says, as of yesterday, I'm officially first degree clergy of the Corellian tradition. I am so excited. Congratulations, Mary. That is exciting. Yay. Mary is a wonderful person, and she will be a wonderful priestess. And that is great news. Um, and Mary says, thank you. Um, Going back to the Silver Salamander, back in 1986, it was actually through that award that I met Grey Cat of the Northwind tradition, who became a great friend of mine. Um, Aw, Mary says, I love you, Lord Don. Thank you, Mary. I love you too. And and getting totally off the award subject, but one of the things we've talked about on this program quite a lot. And hello to Jeanette in the chat room who says, good day to you, Lord Don. And hello to Sir Ebony in the chat room, who says, greetings, good sir, midday blessings to you. And hello to Lynn in the chat room. And we've talked a lot about the afterlife and um, incarnation and the things that we carry forward from one life to the next. Love is probably the most important thing we carry forward. The people we have loved, the connections we have made. And of course, we carry the opposite too, but our strong connections are the things that we carry forward most with us. We also carry skills. Um, but as we look at our lives, those connections are one of the things we really should focus on more than we commonly do. But as I was saying, we've been doing awards for a long time. I got the Silver Salamander back in 1986. It's here in my office somewhere. I don't have it hung up yet because, as you know, I only recently moved to this office. You can't actually see the office. You can see Stonehenge, but um, I still have it after all these years. And I was very, very pleased to receive it all those years ago. And I don't know that anyone today would recognize the Silver Salamander or the Stardust Salamander newsletter that put it out. But at the time, it was a big deal. And the point of these awards is to recognize people's efforts, but also by doing so to build community. One of the things I've pointed out over the years is that if you give someone an award and they take it, they're acknowledging your right to give it to them. Um, in this case, it was bringing the community together to give awards. So in this case, was the community of those people who subscribed to the Stardust Salamander newsletter and everyone who read that newsletter who gave that award. Um, but there are and have been many others, and their role in building community, um, in saying yes, we are here and we can recognize the excellence of people among us, is really quite important. And I think that that it's a very good thing. In the Corellian tradition, we have a whole series of awards that we give twice a year, and a series of meritorious orders that we give on occasion, all to recognize the good work of the people in the tradition, because there are so many people doing so many things, um, that I very strongly feel it's good to recognize them. And I think this is true in the wider community as well. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about, again, the 2024 Witchcraft and Occult Media Awards, which you can find at modernwitch.com under the Witchcraft Occult Media Awards link. Um, and you can find that on my page on Facebook, to make it a little easier. And they have a whole range of awards they're giving out. And I wanted to recommend that people, take part in this, support this. And why are you supporting it? And there are a couple of reasons. One is to support the individuals, who are doing good work in our community, and they deserve support. Um, because there's usually not a lot of money, but support therefore means all the more to people like Sir Ebony, in the chat room, who is one of our best musical performers in the community, and I think she certainly should be nominated for one of these awards. Um, and hello to Michelle, who says hello from Flemington, New Jersey. Um, and hello to Sir Edward, who says, so I think for vlogs, Midday with Reverend Don, uh, as the new voice, and Mary Hawk, I also think Neil for the Endless Summer. And I think those are all excellent, excellent nominations. And hello to Rev Michael in the chat room. Hello to Michelle in the chat room. And some of the things that they are, and these awards are called the Witchies, unofficially. And it's only for creative endeavors that were published or introduced, depending on what the endeavor is, between August 22nd, 2022 and October 1st, 2023. And the voting for the 2024 Witchcraft and Occult Media Awards will begin on January 1st and end on January 22nd. So right now we're promoting it. We can't actually, we can nominate at this time, I believe. The nominations are apparently completely open, and you can go to the page and put in who you wish to see as potential nominees. So as Edward was saying, he gave a list of people who could be good nominees, because I don't know that you can only nominate one. I'm not that far into it, but what do they win? They get bragging rights for next year and a plaque if they want one. But there's the outstanding book of the year. What do you think was the outstanding book of this year? The outstanding author of the year. Who do you think was the outstanding author of the year? I'd recommend the Corellian Book of the Dead for outstanding book of the year, but I really don't don't think it would quite reach that. And also, it came out after the end of the period. Um, Outstanding tarot deck. What is the outstanding tarot deck of this year? The outstanding oracle deck of the year. The outstanding blog of the year. Who's your favorite blogger? Do you want to nominate them? Exceptional blog post of the year, and please provide direct linkage. It says outstanding podcast of the year. That could be Midday with Reverend Don if you are so inclined. Outstanding new podcast of the year. That could be Midday with Reverend Don, because we debuted within this period. And the fact that I've been doing this sort of thing for many years does not change the fact that this one is new. Exceptional podcast episode of the year, and please provide direct linkage. Um, Outstanding vlog. I think that's actually more what we are. Outstanding Vlog Vidcast of the Year. Outstanding New Vlog Vidcast. Exceptional Video of the Year. Please provide direct linkage. Outstanding Magazine of the Year. Do you have a favorite magazine? There still are a few magazines. There aren't very many of them now compared to what there were. If we're talking about print magazines, which I assume they are, but there are still a few. Do you follow any of them? Do you have a favorite? This is a place to recognize them. Outstanding Social Media Contributor of the Year. Um, I'd nominate Sir Edward for that one. Outstanding Music Album of the Year. Well, we were talking about Sir Ebony earlier. Outstanding Product of the Year, and they list candles and incense as an example. Or no, I'm sorry. Outstanding Product of the Year, specifically candles and incense, or Outstanding Product of the Year, oils, or Outstanding Product of the Year, um, sidelines, and Outstanding New Voice of the Year, regardless of platform. And those are their categories. And, I really think it would probably be very desirable for us to take part in that. Hello to Jade um, in the chat room, and hello to Calvin in the chat room. And Sir Edward points out the Karelian Times could go up for magazine. Um, and so yeah, I think we'll probably be talking about this more as as we go forward. And it again, it has the double role of recognizing people who do outstanding things in the community and building the community itself. And I hope that whoever you think would be good for these awards, that you will support them, and that you will take some time to go and consider who you might want to nominate. My recommendation is don't go and do it immediately, but take a little time to think about who you want to nominate. Go look at the page, look at the categories for yourself, and think about some of the different people. And we've mentioned Sir Ebony. There's Cloud the Pagan Rapper under music as well. The Corellian Times, Midday with Rev Don. Um, all of the programs at Pagan World TV, many of them, well, all of them, I think, would be eligible for one thing or another if you have one that you're particularly fond of. And hello to Lady Kai from Buffalo. How are you doing, Lady Kai? And we're just talking about awards and nominating the people that you think deserve one. And these particular awards are the Witchy Awards. And you can find them at themodernwitch.com. So, going back to some of the reasons why these are important, when you do things in the pagan community, and this is probably true in every community, um, except maybe the most well-funded, the primary thing you get um, is recognition from the people who like what you do. Um, there's rarely much, if any, money involved. Um, but knowing that your work is appreciated is very important to, I think, all creators. And knowing that you're having a positive effect for people. So if there's someone whose work you particularly enjoy, nominating them for this award um, has meaning. And I would highly recommend it as something that you might wish to do. And speaking of recommending things you might wish to do, I want to take a moment to talk about my Patreon. And my Patreon, among other things, hosts my weekly Monday night chat. Lately, I've been posting a picture a day. I normally do a seminar every month. I will admit we didn't do one. Well, we did one right at the start of last month, but it kind of covered a couple of months. But we will be announcing the seminar for this month probably in the next couple of days, and it will come right at the end of the month. And numerous other interesting things that we offer, up to and including an hour um, a month session with me, which can be reading or teaching or just discussion. But if you want to support my work, Patreon is a very good way to do it. You can find that at revdonlewis.com. And these are all different things that we offer there. Um, our photo yesterday was Great Aunt Dolly in the height of 1900s fashion. The day before that, Lady Bitterwind. And we had a photo, well, actually, within the last couple of days, Lady Bitterwind offering the cauldron of lustration in the early part of the new century. And we talked about how it's a very good photo where she is kneeling and offering the cauldron, which was purely her own idea. It was no one else's idea that she should kneel. And when it came time to get up, it wasn't such a good idea. But it made a great photo. And to this day, it sometimes happens, depending on who exactly is offering the cauldron for blessing. My advice is kneel or not, depending on how easily you can get up. The day before that, we had a photo from my 20th anniversary party back in 1999, including some of the very prominent high priestesses of Chicago at that time, most of whom are no longer living, which is rather attention getting. Um, and we're going to continue with interesting photos from my life and/or Corellian history on a more or less daily basis. It might be every day, it might be every couple of days, but there'll be plenty of them. And that's one of the things we're doing at my Patreon. And there are many other things that you can do um, if you like my work, including going shopping at Corellian Publishing, where our most recent book is the Corellian Book of the Dead. And hello to Jeanette Labulio in the chat room. I hope you're doing well today, Jeanette. And your package is all packaged up and ready to go today. And we ship things just as quickly as we can. Um, how fast they get to you depends in part on whether we actually have them on hand or they must be ordered in, but they come just as quickly as we can get them out. Um, but we don't necessarily go to the post office every single day, but every few days usually. And we have a lot of interesting things at Corellian Publishing. We have more interesting things coming in the future. And it's interesting working with so many projects. And going back to the awards, people who do publishing, writing, videography, other things for the community, this kind of thing, any kind of acknowledgement that what they're doing is worthwhile is one of the main things that they get from it. So I highly recommend supporting um, the Modern Witch Awards and also the Modern Witch site. It seems to be doing many interesting things. Um, so there we go. And once again, I'm watching the chat room, and it's good to have so many people interacting in the chat room. I love that aspect um, of this broadcast, and I love getting to speak to you all directly. Um, so my other question for today is what kinds of subjects we've had a few that are on the list. What kind of things would you like to see me discuss here? I can talk about some of the things we've talked about talking about in the future, more about Corellian ancestors. We've talked about an in-depth conversation about pentacles, what they are and what they're not. We have talked about astrology and more things on astrology. We talked about numerology as something that some people want to see discussed. We've talked about alphabets as something people would want to see discussed. Are there other things you'd like to see discussed? Um, do you want to see more things about the community discussed? This week we've been focusing pretty heavily on community issues. And I think that's very important, um, in its own right, that we not forget we are part of a community that needs its infrastructure and that we must support that infrastructure. Um, and again, today we're talking about awards and why they're important. So, again, if you have a podcast or a blog or a video blog, such as this one, or a vidcast or a magazine, um, ma- take a few moments and go and nominate them because it will mean something to them. And particularly people who are just beginning, seeing that their work is affecting people is very important. Um, and under music, think about Sir Ebony, um, who certainly belongs there. And Jeanette says, I've been seeing the number 1111. Um, and I have that too. And I've talked about that in a number of places. Maybe we'll do a show on that phenomenon of seeing 1111 and also the number 11 itself. 11 is the number um, very strongly associated. Oh, and Michelle says that they have this same thing. Yeah, we'll have to. Let me write that down as one of the programs we'll do. I won't go into it now, um, so I can go into it in more detail later. But a lot of spiritual people have that. It has a strong spiritual significance. I have it. The number 11 is strongly associated with the Correllian tradition itself. Um, and it's been a number of great importance to us over the years. November 11th, the 11th day of the 11th month, has been very important to us over the years. And, I said it on my page, I will say it here. Sir Edward recently had his initiatory anniversary on 11/11, and congratulations. Um, my goodness, it's been a good number of years for that. And I believe Sir Edward is beginning his 32nd year uh, of service in the Correllian tradition. And it's been a ride. But many people have that 11/11 thing. And when you have that, one of the things it's particularly um, indicating is psychic development and being on the right psychic path, right spiritual path. Maybe I should say spiritual development. Um, but yeah, we'll go into it in detail one day. And a number of words with importance in metaphysics um, numerologically add up to the number 11. Maybe we'll talk about some of those. Now, Michelle says, I think our loved ones on the other side use numbers to communicate with us. And I believe that is often true. I'll also say they use many things. One of the things that I often find are coins. If I find a dime unexpectedly, I understand that as indicating the attention of the ancestors. Um, I'm also one of those people who's very big on picking up pennies if I'm in a safe place to do so. I do remember reading years ago, or being told years ago about an author who who said, if you find the penny, it's the universe offering you good luck, so make sure you take it. And he talked about how he had once skidded across a an asphalt road in a white satin suit, ruining the suit to get the penny. I would not do that. Um, if I'm in a place where I cannot safely retrieve the penny, I thank the universe for its message, um, and indicate that I've accepted it. I don't know that you necessarily must physically pick up the penny, but I'm pretty big on picking up pennies. Um, and Mary says that she's sure there are lots of really cool stories um, that I must have, and there are quite a few. Now, Aiden says, K. Aiden says, 17 years as third degree as of last month. Congratulations, Kai. 22 years in the tradition, and Lady Kai has been with us 22 years and been involved in so many things. And congratulations, Lady Kai. And it's been a long time. It's been a lifetime. And many of us have been together for a lifetime. And, new people come, sometimes old people go. That's part of the nature of life. But we who are together stay. And I'm very grateful for all of those in our Corellian family. And I thank all of you. And, my attitude on that subject is that everyone is always free to come and go as they choose. And that's up to them. But those who stay with us for the long term, we value highly. So thank you. Um, and Mary says, I love our family. I do too. Um, Now, like any family, there are occasionally rocky moments, but that's what makes a family. And it's how you deal with those moments that make a family. We're coming up on the Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States, where we're going to hear about lots of people who um, have issues in their family. That's part of being a family. It's whether you still have that love between you all that makes the difference. And if you want to see the love between us all, this coming illustration of the ancestors will be a grand display of that in the spring. And you'll be hearing a lot more of that. Now Janet says, I've been seeing a lot of 11 and also 222 and finding pennies at my doorstep. Very, very positive omens. And Jeanette says, yes, it does. The love that abides. And I remarked earlier in the episode, that's what we take forward with us most prominently when we go on to our future existence after this life. Not the only thing we take, but probably the most important thing we take. And we should really take our time to focus on love and how we express it. And going back to our subject for today, awards in general, and this particular set of awards that we're talking about in particular, um, the modern or the Witchcraft and Occult Media Awards from modernwitch.com. They're an expression of love from the community towards its creators. And that's why we should support it. And that's what it really does. So I hope you'll join me in nominating the people that you want to see there. I won't be offended if I'm one of them. Um, and we'll see what happens. But I also won't be offended if I'm not, because the important thing is that you nominate the people that you want to see there, and that the people who are doing the work are shown the love. So with that, I see we've come to the end of our half hour. I hope that you've enjoyed the program. I have enjoyed the program. I always enjoy having this time to talk to you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. And let us close with our prayer, as we always do. Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you for all that you do for us in our lives, and we ask you to help us to value the love in our lives, not to discount or disregard it, but to build it and nurture it. And when difficult times come, help us whenever possible to find positive solutions. And when we cannot find positive solutions, help us to allow everyone to go their own way as they must, but holding on to the good things that have been there. Beloved Mother Goddess, beloved Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you with great love and thanks, and knowing you are always with us, but from respect, we thank you for your presence, and may you be blessed now and always. And I thank you for your presence, and I will see you tomorrow, and I love you all, and may you be blessed.